Hey, this is John. I'm a certified personal trainer, and I'm going to be walking you through my workout today. This was an all upper body 7-move circuit with 45 seconds of work and minimal rest in between each exercise, and I go through 2 full rounds. Before I get into it, I'm warming up here so far. I'm using a mix of bodyweight exercises with a bit of active flexibility stretches to both gradually get my heart rate up and get my body ready for exercise. By the way, this workout is only with dumbbells and a bench. I'm using Power Block dumbbells on the left there and the Power Block travel bench on the right. I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can check those out. And right off the bat, after that jog, I'm going right into that squats overhead reach, doing my best to stretch my shoulders and continue to gradually get my heart rate up. And by the way, if you'd like to listen to music during this workout, I'm just going to be talking you through it, so feel free to put on music somewhere else in the background. Second time on the jog, I'm going a little bit harder, but really in this warm-up, I'm going at what felt like medium effort the whole time. Not too hard, not too easy, just enough to get my heart rate going. Because I am going to be challenging myself with some heavier weights after this warm-up. Again, a mix of body weight and stretching. I'm stepping back to maintain my heart rate and stretching my chest and my shoulders by retracting my shoulders behind me. So I am listening to a workout in my headphones to keep me structured throughout this workout, but I am changing a lot, so you're not going to be able to hear that workout. I'm going to be modifying a lot for myself and changing it up as I go. So if you're following along with this workout, you're welcome to change it however much you like as well, and just have fun with it. Always when I warm up, I'm keeping in mind I'm not going too hard, I'm not going too easy, somewhere in the middle, so my body is ready for more intense exercise after that. Just getting warmed up. Alright, so let's get into this circuit. First move is going to be a single arm bent over row supported by a front leg. Now I'm using about 40 pounds. Feel free to use whatever weight you like for every exercise you see. You can change things for you. You can modify your weight. You can modify your speed. All the training variables, feel free to do so. So far in this single arm row, I have my arm supported on that front leg. I take a very long step back so I can maintain a flat back and long spine throughout the whole move. And as you see right there, I'm taking a little bit of a break in between, about halfway each 45 seconds, so I can readjust my posture and also catch my breath for a moment. And I'm doing my best to work my biceps and my lats by keeping my elbow very close to the body. And going right into that other side, I posture up on that elbow, bring the right foot very far back. That's going to allow me to keep my back flat, long spine, and maintain control with that weight the whole time. This is the heaviest weight I'm going to use in this workout. I could have gone heavier, but I wanted to make sure that I'm doing this right so you guys can follow along. And I think I did about 6 or 7 reps, and then taking a break, about 6 to 7 reps after that. But again, I'm just doing my best to follow along with the timer, which is, again, 45 seconds long. Alright, I'm putting in minimal rest in between, just enough to catch my breath. As soon as I start to catch my breath, I'm going right into the next move. So next up we have a tricep push-up, 45 seconds. Now tricep push-ups are not my strong point. Push-ups have always been challenging for me. I'm looking to work my triceps the most on this push-up, more so than chest. I definitely feel it in my shoulders too, but to hit those triceps, I'm doing my best to keep my elbows tucked in and pointed behind me. There's that little break. I catch my breath, come right back, really just so I can maintain my posture the whole way. I don't always take breaks during sets, but today I wanted to put them in because I was a little bit tired and I wanted to make sure that my posture was good. Now, I definitely could have had better form on some of these moves. I'll try to point that out as I go, but at least you can get a frame of reference as to the basic movement we're doing here. Right after that tricep push-up, I'm going back to the bench for a short range of motion push-up. I'm really trying to do the same movement, but barely moving in so I can maintain that burn that I have on that tricep and the shoulders. And let me tell you, my shoulders were definitely on fire, even after that first set of push-ups, and definitely after this second short range of motion set here. I really just can't wait until that 45 seconds is over for these push-ups. Push-ups have always been challenging for me. Alright, going into shoulders, I'm doing a reverse step to single arm overhead press. This is similar to a push press, but it's going to challenge my stability and challenge my shoulder a little bit differently by stepping back at the same time. You can step back with either leg, doesn't make a huge difference, but I'm stepping back with the ipsilateral side, which is the same leg, same arm. Going into the other side, we have 45 seconds again. Stepping back with that press. Sometimes I do variations of this press with my elbow turned out sideways more, or I might do it more like an Arnold press where my hand is rotating as I come up. But today I wanted to hit more of the front of the shoulder, that anterior deltoid. Doing my best to move and not sit completely still during rests. I'm not resting long, but I do want to keep my heart rate up at least a little bit. And it's very important that we maintain movement in rests anyway, so our blood doesn't pool into our extremities like our arms and legs. Alright, going into our next move here, a lateral raise. I'm using very lightweight for this, as this isn't a big muscle, at least for me. This is one of those moves that I just love to tune out, and I'll often close my eyes and just feel it out. There's not a lot of postural work going on with this one, so it's a great one for me to just zone out and just feel what I'm doing. I am doing my best to keep my knees slightly bent and to keep my arms coming up at the same rate. I definitely have had to use a mirror though when I learned to do these. Now I've done these enough that I can mostly feel it out and get them up at the same speed, coming up at the same level. But it's always great to have a mirror to kind of see what you're doing. Minimal rest, and then we're going into a wide bicep curl here. I didn't really want to do these wide, but I am listening into another workout in my headphones, modifying a little bit for me. But I didn't mind these. So usually I'm either doing hammer curls or regular bicep curls, but on this one, I turned out my hands ever so slightly just to see if I could hit the bicep in a slightly different way. And I definitely felt it very quickly. I'm not using a ton of weight. I think I'm using about 20 pounds here. But this was challenging enough for me. Doing my best to breathe the whole time. Again, I don't have to focus too much on posture when I do these curls. I've kind of got the hang of it, so when I'm not focusing on my form and posture, I'm focusing on breath. Next move here for triceps and biceps, I'm doing a bent over kickback. Now, I'm doing my best to tuck in my elbows again, similar to that tricep push-up on the bench, but this time I'm maintaining my posture by myself. There is no support, so I'm doing my best to keep my spine long and my back flat. I think my form could have been a little bit better there. One thing I love about this exercise is it's really designed to hit the tricep, but bringing the weights back in and curling them back in like I did there really hits the bicep too, so it's just great for both sides of that arm. That's the first circuit, so I'm just taking a bit of a longer break here. I'm doing my best to keep moving and not sit completely still, so my heart rate is still going slightly and my blood is not pooling into my extremities. Alright, second time I've got my heavy weight again. This time I'm starting on the other side for my single arm row, supported with that front arm. Again, taking a very long step back so I can be as flat as I can with my upper body. That allows me to really feel like I have control with a heavier weight when I'm using heavier weights. Usually I will use a heavier weight for this move because I'm using a big muscle. We have lats working here. That's a very big muscle relative to other muscles in the body. It's not the strongest, but for me, at least it can handle a lot more weight than the other moves today. I did get tired and my form started to break a bit, so definitely helpful if you have someone watching you and helping you, ideally professional, to point out if you need to improve your form. But when we work out by ourselves, we do our best, right? Going into that other side, big step back, support on the front arm, keeping my elbow tight. And check out that sunset. I was really happy to be working out outside today. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, wasn't too windy. I'm in Florida, by the way, working out in Central Florida. You can see some beautiful trees in the windows there. So I love working out outside. I keep it real simple. Adjustable dumbbells, a weight bench, maybe a few pieces of equipment here and there. But really this is my favorite way to work out lately. And I can just be free to go on a run after or do something else because I'm already out, and I really feel open and free when I have this kind of very simple setup here. By the way, I am also using a Power Block stand for those dumbbells too, which I'll put a link in the description for as well. Alright, set 2 on that tricep push-up. My shoulders are still kind of burning from the first set, so this definitely was a harder set for me than the first one. Even though my energy was going up, when I work out and it's been about 10, 15, 20 minutes, I do start to get a second wind usually. So I'm able to push it a little bit harder, usually on that second or third round, sometimes the fourth round, depending on what I'm doing. But like I said, push-ups are pretty challenging for me, so this was still pretty hard, even though my energy is pretty decent so far. If I could do these again, I would improve my posture a bit with my back. My back was arching a bit as I got tired, so that's what I would watch if I were to do these again. I have my mini break right here. Going right back to that push-up, this time a short range of motion. My shoulders are on fire at this point. So I'm really maintaining that fire feeling in that shoulder and in the tricep. Taking a mini break there just to give my shoulders a rest and coming right back to it. Finish that 45-second interval. I don't go exactly 45 seconds on these. I think some of them I ended a little bit early or went a little bit over, but that was my basic structure. Doesn't have to be complicated. I love to work out by time. Sometimes I love to work out by reps, counting reps, but usually I prefer time because I understand my tempo. I can make a pretty good estimate on how fast I'm going to go, so that's going to let me estimate how many reps I'm going to do, but that comes from experience. So everyone will be different that way, and it really depends on how much weight I'm using and how fast I want to go. My tempo is always very important to me in my workout. Alright, second time on that reverse step to overhead press. Again, my shoulders are already on fire. I'm hitting a bit of a different part of the shoulder now, but definitely still feeling it from that push-up. My heart rate is getting up pretty high at this point. I am breathing harder. I'm doing my best to control my breath and get lots of oxygen. I'm just kind of swatting flies away today. They love to get me during the sunset. Other side. Again, my shoulder is still burning, but I'm really just trying to focus on my breath, my form that helps me keep my attention away from that fatigue that's in my muscles. So that's a little trick that I use to take my attention away from the fatigue in my muscles when I'm really burning, is to focus on breath, form, or just really anything I can get my mind on. And sometimes I just zone out. If I'm really into the workout, it's hard, it's intense, I'll really just zone out and just listen to the music, the workout, breath, looking at something in the distance, focusing on my form, anything to not give in to that temptation to stop when I'm feeling that intense burn. And back again to my lateral raise here. Again, I'm using very light weights with this, and I'm zoning out. And I'm doing my best here to just feel this out. I don't have a mirror, obviously. I don't have someone checking my form. I do like to just feel these out lately. But one thing I remind myself on anytime I do a standing exercise like this is to keep my knees slightly bent so I'm not wobbling, so I have good control, I have good base throughout the whole movement. Alright, going a little bit heavier now. Going to that wide bicep curl again, knees slightly bent. Pronating my hands out ever so slightly, not going that wide, and everyone will go a little bit different with how wide or narrow they go. This was comfortable for me, and it was definitely challenging. And I was happy to give my shoulders a break to get that bicep again. Check out that sunset. I thought it was so beautiful. I just kind of let the sun hit my face and just immerse myself in this outdoor setting. Really liked it. Alright, very quick rest. I'm going to keep my body moving during this active rest. And facing the other way for that bent over kickback again. Again, I think I'm using about 20 pounds here. Doing my best to keep my posture and my form good with my back. There is a lot of temptation to bend forward a lot, and especially if you're not used to doing these and you're focusing on how your arms are. There's my little break. Back into posture, back into form. You kind of saw I started to fall back a little bit there. I am putting all my weight on my heels, almost all my weight on my heels, because I notice if I lean forward too much, and I put the weight on my toes, then my posture starts to break and I lose my form. So I am doing my best to stay pretty neutral during that exercise. Alright, that was the full 2 rounds. That was everything. How do you feel? Pretty intense, yeah? For me, that was pretty hard. That was a good mix of cardio and strength for me, although a bit more strength. It's not the most intense workout I've done. Definitely not the most intense for cardio, but for me that was pretty complete for upper body. And I'm going right into a cooldown here. Now, with this cooldown, I did not hold these stretches as long as I normally would or would typically recommend to people. I like to hold my stretches, at least static stretches like this, for 20 to 30 seconds. But actually, before I started this workout, I saw that I only had, I think, about 23 minutes left of data left on my SD card to record. So I knew that time was ending soon, so I decided to shorten my stretches a little bit just so you could see what I was doing in case the camera had cut off. I'm really just taking it in here. I'm definitely out of breath, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling burning all over. And I'm just cooling down at this point. I like to take 5 to 10 minutes to cool down. Typically I'll do static stretches like this. I might do some light jogging. I might do some active stretches, maybe some mobility work. But today I just thought I'd go through some similar movements as the warm-up. I really like this here, especially because my shoulders were so on fire during this workout. I was happy to just stretch them out and let them relax and just take it all in. So hope you enjoyed this workout. Let me know in the comments if you like to do exercises like these, if you have any similar ones that you like, or if you have any recommendations you'd like to see on my next video. Feel free to let me know. Had a lot of fun talking with you. Have a great one.